Welcome back to day 5 of Mental Health Awareness Week 2020. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Sparks, and I'm an award-winning coach, author, and speaker. And I help people thrive at work, not just strive. Letitia.
And I'm Letitia Rowlin. Thanks, Sarah. I'm Letitia Rowlin. I'm a risk partner for health and wellbeing at Willis Towers Watson, and I help organisations manage their risks around workplace stress and mental health. So we've had a great time doing this for Mental Health Awareness Week this week. Sarah, what did you take from the interviews we did with Rob, Peter and Sophie?
So much. I too really enjoyed it, and what a great bunch of people we chose to interview. In the one that I did with Rob, the real thing that sort of struck me was how kind it can be just to ask yourself, how am I today? So just checking in on your mental form, and to notice that does go up and down. It goes up and down during the day, it goes up and down during the week, and it's certainly going up and down right now. So I found that really helpful. What did you get from Rob's interview?
I did, and I like the fact it's just a moment to stop and to pause, and it doesn't take long to do. And you can ask yourself this set of questions, and particularly for people who are perhaps not as good as getting in tune with their feelings, I think it's a great way to do it, and you can actually do it in number form. So I think that's a fantastic way to do it. And also the fact that you can do it really quickly every day. And that's what self-care is about. That's what looking after your mental health is about. It's being kind to yourself and doing this every day, and not just doing it when it all gets too much.
Absolutely. And the thing that I was really taken with Peter's interview is how important those two words are of thank you and well done. And I took so much from Peter's, but that in particular I found really, how many of us are doing enough of that, saying thank you and well done?
Yeah, small words, don't take long to do, make such a huge difference as well. And another thing I took from Peter's was, certainly in the workplace setting, it's just look after your people. If you look after your people, they'll look after you. And, that's really quite a simple concept. And, and he gave a great example there of where businesses are doing that. So it really is about that, isn't it? Just looking after your people. I
agree. Did you see that Facebook have postponed any appraisals and given everyone effectively an A grade? So they're going to get the maximum amount of bonus, if there was a bonus, I've no idea. But anyway, Facebook have abandoned any appraisals, given everybody an A grade, which I think is a very kind thing to do. And yet they were also saying that only a third of managers are checking in on seeing how their direct reports are doing. So I think there is still work to be done just to check in. How are the people who are working with you and for you doing right now? And even your bosses, checking in with them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and it begs the question really, isn't it? Is it just that, the understanding isn't there yet about the benefits of that and the benefits of connection? Is it that we need to do more work in terms of education around that on the wellbeing front? What do you think?
I think, of course, we always need to increase awareness and to increase education. And yet I think a lot of people are just really busy doing their day-to-day stuff. And I found that in my examples of acts of kindness for myself, which I know we're going to talk about in a minute, but it's actually much harder if you're really busy to be kind to yourself and kind to others, but still needs to be done.
It is. It's that time constraint, isn't it? And that's a really good observation I took from the week this week as well, about being really busy and, have I done my act of kindness, and noticing that time constraint. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Now, Sophie, I loved that one from Sophie. I love them all, but Sophie's I loved. And the fact that she said, sleep, it's the simplest one to do. You don't need anything. You just, go to bed at the same time and get up. And you don't need anything extra. And how sleep affects emotional regulation. I thought that was absolutely spot on, and it really resonated, that.
Absolutely. And of course, we literally cannot be kind if we don't have enough sleep. I know that from a personal experience, but you can also see it in the wider field, can't you? If people haven't had a good night's sleep, as you said, you can't even read other people's faces and everything seems threatening all of a sudden, and then you react in a completely different way. So so sleep was really fascinating to be so instrumental for mental health, but also in terms of kindness. Did you also see, sorry to interrupt you, did you also see that Sophie mentioned the book by David Hamilton, The 5 Side Effects of Kindness? And I thought that was really interesting too. Of course, it makes us feel happier, which of course makes sense. But one of the things I didn't know is it is good for our hearts because it decreases blood pressure. It makes us live longer, or it delays aging, I should say. So that's even more of an incentive as far as I'm concerned. It absolutely improves relationships, as I've really noticed this week in my acts of kindness. And the 5th one is contagious. And I certainly noticed that when other people were kind to me, I wanted to be kind back.
Yes. So absolutely. And I got a few messages this week, messages of thank you from people. And it makes you feel so good. You just feel all warm inside. And, I wanted to reciprocate back and saying thank you too. Thank you for saying that. And it is absolutely contagious. And, what's not to like about the 5 benefits from Dr. Hamilton's book? I'm particularly loving the one about, anti-aging. I think if we can get some more sleep, and that's natural Botox, isn't it? So love that one as well.
Yeah. And what about your own acts of kindness? How have they gone this week?
My own acts of kindness, so it really made me stop and think about it, really. And when you do them more consciously, you just notice more, and it's helped to notice how good it's felt when I've either, been the recipient of an act of kindness or I've done an act of kindness. And I've really noticed that feeling, and it's given me a very warm feeling inside when I've done those acts or when I've received kind words. I've noticed, however, that I could do more in terms of being kinder to others. And that sounds awful to say, doesn't it? But the only thing I've put that down to this week is just the sheer busyness of life, and therefore we get so absorbed in that and in what we're doing, and it's about consciously stepping back and just doing that one little thing, and it's really brought some joy to my day. So I'm glad I've done it, and my takeaway from the week is to do some more acts of kindness for other people.
Well, I certainly noticed that I could do more, particularly at home. I noticed that acts of kindness out there with other people came almost more easily than doing acts of kindness at home. But certainly when I did acts of kindness at home, I mentioned on the little video last night that I had opened my partner's window in his office to cool it down before his day started. And I got a lovely little note on my desk later on in the day saying thank you. And that certainly has galvanized our relationship just by a little tiny amount, but it just feels great. But what I really noticed about this week for me is how difficult it was to be kind to myself. There was times this week when I really needed to down tools. I found that so hard. So it was a really learning exercise for me that actually, if I'm not going to be kind to myself, I can't possibly be kind to others, because I can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. So yeah, note to self, work on that act of kindness to self.
And when you say that, it goes that saying, doesn't it? It does start with ourselves, because if you think about what Sophie said about, we don't get enough sleep, therefore we can't regulate our emotions properly, then it just doesn't give us enough wherewithal to actually extend that kindness to others. So I think it really does start with yourself, doesn't it? Although we said at the beginning of the week, normally the first thing we think of is acts of kindness to other people, but the kinder we are to ourselves, the more we have to give to others.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely right. And I also want to echo your thought about when you observe an act of kindness, how also that makes you feel good. And apparently the same side effects happen when you actually observe an act of kindness as when you do one. So just imagine if we had a world of people doing acts of kindness all over the place, and just how long we'd live and how happy we'd be and how relationships would be so good. So I too am going to go away and do more of it. Now, I don't know whether you noticed, we've got an extra guest.
Yes, I did notice Eeyore sitting by the pianist today.
Yes.
Tell me more.
So this is going to be my act of kindness today. He is my 14-year-old son's cuddly toy of old, although he does hang around in the bedroom sometimes in the bed. So maybe he's more cuddly than I thought at 14. Anyway, he had an accident yesterday and my son managed to split his tummy open. So my act of kindness today is to actually go and get Eeyore fixed up. So, and I think he's going to be very happy about that. What do you think?
I think he's going to be very happy to hear it. And I notice I'm just smiling and feeling, oh, God, I'm so pleased he was going to be fixed today. That's lovely. So what a lovely act of kindness. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that as well.
Yes, and I think my son will be too. So I've hugely enjoyed this week, not just interviewing Rob, Sophie and Peter, but also working with you, Letitia. It's been an absolute delight. So thank you for that. And we've got some plans afoot, haven't we?
We have, but first of all, thank you too, Sarah. I have really enjoyed doing this for Mental Health Awareness Week this week. We have got some plans afoot. What will they look like? Remains to be seen, but watch this space because I think we're going to come back, aren't we, Sarah?
We are going to be coming back and sharing some more information with the audience at some point. So look forward to that. And thank you all for joining us this week. It's been really fun.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.